I'm Lamb Chop. This here's my world. Shit, far and hot damn, we gonna have ourselves a drag race. Gyrate, gesticulate, and take care of business, you know what I'm saying. I'm here to spread joy to the world, baby, and I live for that. It's what the good Lord got me here to do, so I'll show you at least the simplest version. You don't get yourself a piece of plywood or a fancy board or what have you. Width, it don't matter. For brevity, I went with a 20-inch rip on the plywood. Just for the hell of it, because I had a piece laying around like something like this here. 20-incher. Let me flip her around so y'all be able to see what I done her. I ripped her down about 20 inches, give or take or so. You see this little notch here. That's for my launcher. Depending on whatever kind of launcher you use or get or try or build your own, what have you. I use these. Little 3-clicker job because they're the best. I just laid it on top and traced it out and jigsawed it out. Oh, look at that. Perfect fit. Now, it just so happens this is 1/2 inch. My launcher happens to be a 1/2 inch sitting off the floor. I don't know if you can see that right around yonder. It's about 1/2 inch tall, and that fits about 1/2 inch tall. If you would, you got thicker, compensate with something else. Use some other material if you gotta. But you don't get that in there. Other thing, you ain't gotta put that in there yet. I'm just saying that's why that notch is there. For the launcher. Oh, I better say, only reason I'm able to do this because my baby tenderloin's at work and I'm in her space and she don't like lambing in her space, trashing it. You get your rip down and you get you some 2x4s. Like so. Cut them down. Samey size, what have you. Go on and make you some marks down your board or what. It'll set under them. I got 8 foot long because I like my tracks to be 6 foot. We'll just put them under there like sets. And they'll get screwed down through there. Oh, don't let tenderloin see me trashing her place. You mark them wherever, you know, works out. I think that'll go down. I got marks on it, but I'm just giving you the quick tutorial. And all them little thingamajiggies. That's going to give you good old structure for yonder shed board. So you don't goober her up. Down here at the end, I got this notchings for this launcher to shoot out of. So I double them up. That way it kind of gives my launcher something to sit on. Now with that cut out, I put my launcher on her. Perfectly flush. Very nice. But I ain't running on this. That's rough surface. I don't like that. What I use for my track surfaces is this LVT vinyl plank. Looks like hardwood, but it ain't hardwood. It's just, you can get it at Home Depot or Lowe's or one of them home improvement type joints. It's just vinyl planks, you know, looks like pretty wood. Look at the back of them if you're looking at them. Some of them have a rough texture for gripping the glue. This happens to be really slick, smooth, really slick. They're 4 inches wide. They come in all sorts of different widths and sets. You know, here's some that I had left over from a job I done. It's 6 inches wide. Pretty stuff, real slick and smooth, but the back, you hear that? It's kind of porousy, you know, for gripping the glue. I don't like that surface. Too much drag, if you ask me. But I'll take this old laminate kajiggles. Now I like flipping it upside down. It's black. Ooh, it looks like a track, you know. But it's too wide, and I need dividers. Back at the Home Depot store, they got these little, they're over by the dowel pins, but they're square. Little bitty teeny tiny square thing. You see that? Ooh, reaching right out in 3D, if you will. That'd be my lane divider. But I gotta cut these down, that's too wide of a lane. I cut them, they're 4-inch wide pieces. I'll cut them in half, make them 2 inches. Is what I've done, just marked it, used a straight edge, a knife, a few cuts, you'd be fine. With that said, that's my running surface. A nice smooth edge and put the cut edge out just cause in case I suck. Get that cut edge out. Now what will happen, got them there cut pieces, launchers in place, little wooden dowel rod that's square, not round, 1/4 inch. And I'll lay my little tracky tracks up there. Lay that there, lay that there. See, it's starting to look like the lammarosa rails. Another little piece of wood. Another little cut piece with the factory edge because it's smoother up against the wood. Just makes it purtier if you ask me. There's the tracky track. These are 3-foot long pieces, so that gives me my 6-foot. Ta-ra-ra. Right. Now, I like to just flip it back over the other ways, have it look whatever. But I need some guardrails. What do we use? Oh, we go back to Home Depot. And get this shit. I don't know what the hell it's called, but it's over there by the lattice. And I think it's a 1/4 inch by 1 inch, give or take, or 3/4 inch. I'm not even sure what damn size it is. I just know I saw it and it looked good. And it's what I use before. But it's for lattice, I think, for trimming. I don't really like lattice. I don't think it's cool, just like lettuce. I don't think lettuce is cool. But that's just me. This thing will stand right up and sandwich between them 2 pieces, like so. What I do is I run a little bit of super glue, not all the way down it. You can put a little bead, skip a few inches. It don't take much super glue to hold stuff down. That makes your side rails. You'll finish it off by gluing them other rails. You can use any old kind of glue. I use pressure sensitive glue. That stuff's pretty cheap. Just trowel it on there, on that wood. You see, here's the other one. That'll go on the other side like a yonder. Get sandwiched in with the wood and glued down. You see how it's starting to look like the lammarosa rails right there, huh? You see what's going on here, huh? There's not much to it. Now, if you recalled, this was perfectly even with the track. Now that I've added this 1/8 inch layer of road, now my launcher's actually an 1/8 inch below. It's not level with it. How do you remedy that? You use another damn piece of that 1/8 inch. You just cut it to fit and stick her down in there, set your launcher back. Ta-ra-ra-ra. Look at that. Butter. Oh, it's beautiful. That'll jack your launcher up to get her to the right height, depending on whatever you happen to use. But there ain't much to it with all that. That's more or less all I do. Just certain little things, tripping and walking around in a bit of a daze in the Home Depot and going, what can I use to build this? What can I use to build that? My other track that I made, lammarosa rails too, was used 2x4s on the sides. You know, once I've screwed these, I got that to screw to, you know, everywhere else. This time I bought me some 1x, a little thinner. That'll go on the edge like so. Just like that. Screw it in through this back side into them 2x4s. You got yourself a banner over her. I wanted to go a little taller, but just go with what works. You know what worked before, that's what I'll do. This works. Everything's 8 foot long, so it's minimal cutting. The only thing you really got to cut wood wise is rip your plywood and cut them 2x4s to run across yonder ways. But more or less after that, just screw the bad boy together, let her go. This LVT stuff's really nice to work with. It ain't too hard to cut. If you find it to be too hard to cut, use a heat gun, not a torch. Use a heat gun. That turn that stuff into butter. You can cut it with a fork down there. Now, I might be remiss in my duties to explain, I guess, why my track is the way my track is. I like these spring-loaded launchers. It's just a rubber band. That's all it is. But slinging them is where it's at, baby. This took many years of experimenting with. I've been fooling with these little tracks since I was a teenager, I guess. But a lot of people do them gravity races I've seen on YouTube. Gravity sucks, man. It just brings you down. You know what I'm saying? If you got a gravity track, then you're going to end up with a dominant car that whoops everybody's ass. It always happens. Just either it's heavier or whatever. It's always going to whoop everybody's ass. The length that's been figured on my track and with the slinging of the launcher, if you watch my races, I have 3 classes. The modified class, I go 3 clicks and the damn things go a zinging down the track. They look cool as hell. The stock eliminators, I do 1 click, you know, and they run down a car like a stock car, you know, run down the track, and it looks cool. Generally, with the 1 click, like my old launcher I used to have, it was just 1 setting, and hell, I've rigged it up with a hair tie for a rubber band to get just the right sling. With slinging them, ends about half track, maybe a little past half, the initial boom, flinging them, and then the rest of the track, it's how good they roll. You know, that's why sometimes, if you watch my racing, one car will get out on the other one and be like, oh man, and then boom, he'll drive right around them on the big end. It's like, damn, how'd that happen? Doesn't happen every time, you just never know, but that's what makes it fair. Other thing is I got 1 button that's going to send both the cars. There's no, this guy started first, that guy started first, none of that mess. It's as fair as I can make it. Makes it pretty cool. Other deal, like me using this flipped over, you know, LVT with that slick surface, I got no seams except 1, and I can jam them boogers real damn tight together. Perfectly even racing lanes. When you use that orange track, if that's what you got, that's fine. If that's your bag, that's fine. It just ain't mine. Them orange tracks, I used to mess with them. You have to put them together so you got a seam here, and sometimes those orange tracks will flex a little. And if you've had them and really gotten into it, and the damn car comes down the track and hits the little seam of it where it's bent a little and messes the race up, that'll piss you off. Sometimes they'll get bent in on the sides halfway down the track just from getting handled, and the car will rub a little more on this lane than that one because it got bent in. There's a lot of margin and variables for error with using orange track. That's why I personally don't like it. I like to make my own. I mean, it works just fine. I mean, hell, that old track I made, it was mostly cardboard. I just cut thin piece of cardboard for the dividers and for the walls, and it worked. But I've learned cardboard is a little more friction-y against the wheels and the side of the car. It would slow them down. It's slicked up, sanded down. I do take a little piece of sandpaper to make sure these are nice and smooth. That keeps everything real cool and straight and smooth. But I just wanted to say, you know, screw gravity. I like the spring-loaded deals, baby. Just makes for a better race, I think.